What is going on, New York Giants fans? Welcome to another video from Hit Squad Productions. And in this video, we're going to go over a topic that was actually asked by a subscriber of mine, and I think it's something that's worth talking about. I love when you guys ask me questions. I love when you want to hear my opinions on things, and I'll make a video on it. Let us know what you want us to talk about in the comments below, or you can follow us on Twitter. You can send us, a DM there. You can also send us an email. My email will be in the description. I love talking with you guys, and I love giving my opinions on whatever you guys, want me to give my opinions on. Now, the question is, should the Giants bring back free agent defensive end Romeo Okwara? Now, does that name sound familiar? Because it should. Romeo Okwara signed with the New York Giants back in 2016 as an undrafted free agent out of Notre Dame. He's 6'4", 263 pounds, 25 years old, so he's still young. While he was with the Giants, he appeared in 22 games. He had 4 starts, recorded 28 tackles, 2 for a loss, 2 passes defended, 7 quarterback hits, and 1 sack. Now, he did have his contract voided with the Detroit Lions, making him an unrestricted free agent for this offseason. And I think that there's a number of things that go into whether the Giants should pick him up or not. I always thought that Romeo Okwara had several times where he flashed, but he just never received the defensive snaps that he seemed to warrant, at least with the Giants. And, I thought that towards the end of him being with the Giants, he just didn't fit the James Bettcher scheme that he was trying to instill. Now, while we were under Spags, which was more of a 4-3 defense, he absolutely thrived, at least with the limited time that he had with us. There were instances where Spags would have him drop back in coverage, which he didn't do often. He didn't do that in college, but at least he was still able to have that under his belt. It did help him a little bit in Detroit. If you guys don't remember, in 2017, he did have that season-ending MCL injury. Now, I don't think that's really helped him back, and we're going to talk about the year that he just had. But in 2018, when we cut him, it didn't really work out for many reasons. One, like I said, he just didn't fit the defensive scheme. We tried moving him to outside linebacker. And at that point, I just felt like the Giants didn't really trust him coming off of the injury. I think they were really banking on, this defense being, confusing in a sense of what this is per, James Bettcher. He wanted the defense to be unpredictable, relentless. Obviously, we know what a clown, James Bettcher was. But, when we cut him, it ended up working out for Romeo Okwara. He signed a 2-year deal with the Detroit Lions for $6.8 million. And in 2018, he started for 14 games with the Lions, having 39 combined tackles and a team-leading 7.5 sacks. So I think that he shows some promise, especially coming off the year that he just had. When you look at his stats, in 2020, he played 16 games. He was a double-digit sack leader in 10 sacks for the Lions. He had 3 forced fumbles, 1 pass defended, 1 fumble recovery, 44 combined tackles, 32 solo tackles, 11 tackles for a loss, 18 QB hits, and 1 safety. So he definitely had a great year with the Lions, in a year where, honestly, defensively as a whole, they weren't too good. And when you look at his career stats, he's played for 67 games. He's had 20 sacks. He's had 139 combined tackles, 87 solo tackles, 22 tackles for a loss, 49 QB hits. So he could definitely get to the quarterback. He's been healthy since that sprained MCL injury back in 2017. Now, look, obviously sacks can be misleading. Let's keep it 100. But I think it's worth noting that his pass rushing ranked 7th among all edge rushers according to Pro Football Reference. Now, take that for what you will. I take Pro Football Reference and Pro Football Focus with a grain of salt. Obviously, there's different metrics that they go by, but he had 61 total pressures, which were 9 amongst all players, regardless of the position on defense. Now, if you guys remember, back when JPP was on the Giants, he went down with an injury right before we were going to play the Dallas Cowboys, and Romeo Okwara really stepped up in his debut against Dallas. He had some good plays. He was able to get to the QB and put similar pressure that JPP was putting up prior to his injury for that season. Now, the real question is he a scheme fit? And I think he is. I think we all realize how poor of a defensive coordinator James Bettcher was, really compared to, what we got from Patrick Graham in just 1 year. And I think Patrick Graham can draw up ways to get the most out of Romeo Okwara. And I think, honestly, he could have another 10-sack season in this system. But the issue is, he's your typical 4-3 defensive end. Now, what I did like, and I went back and I watched some games with the Detroit Lions, is that Matt Patricia had him standing up and getting to the quarterback sometimes. And that's really what we need in this defense. Typically your pressure on this defense, it's going to come off the edge. It's going to come off your typical standing up linebacker. But I think that Romeo Okwara has some good hands on him. He has some good speed on him. Again, he's still young, and he can get to the QB outside of him using his bull strength. Now, one thing I will say is when when the Lions signed Patriots defensive end Trey Flowers back in 2019, they signed him to a 5-year, $90 million deal. And when you do that, as an organization, you're ensuring that player that they are going to receive a bulk of the snaps. And doing that, compared to Romeo Okwara, obviously I understand that. I completely understand it. But it actually ended up paying out for Romeo Okwara because in 2019, the whole team had a down year. Let's be honest. The whole team had a down year by every measure. They allowed the most yards in team history that year, even more than when they went winless in 2008. So I think if the Giants can go out there and get Romeo Okwara, especially on a team-friendly contract, I say do it. That's just my personal opinion. I think he fits the need that the team has. And I think the reason why I say, a cost-effective deal is because initially he was supposed to sign a 3-year, $19.5 million deal with $10 million totally guaranteed, $7 million fully guaranteed at the signing with the Detroit Lions, prior to them pulling out and them voiding his contract. So I think that looking at it and looking at the kind of play you're going to be getting, that's pretty cost effective. Now, granted, to me, that's a Dalvin Tomlinson. As much as I think the Giants should keep both Leonard Williams and Dalvin Tomlinson, if they keep Leonard Williams and let Dalvin Tomlinson walk, I do think that you should take a flyer and look at Romeo Okwara compared to, going and getting a Yannick Ngakoue or Matthew Judon, who's going to be upwards of $20 million. You could get a Romeo Okwara for at least, $13 million a year, if anything. But I'm just thinking of different ways that Patrick Graham could use this guy, get into the quarterback. And I think it's exciting because I think that he had more speed than Marcus Golden. We don't know what we're going to get with Lorenzo Carter. We don't know what the hell happened to O'Shea Jimenez this year. And we can't guarantee that, he's going to have the same production he did in his rookie year going into his third year. But I think just overall, Romeo Okwara is a solid player. And I think the Giants should take a look at him. What's going to hurt the team? Obviously, outside of the number, what's really going to hurt the team, taking a flyer on an edge rusher when we really need an edge rusher? So, I think the Giants should take a flyer on him. Will they take a flyer on him? I'm not sure. I'm not sure, considering the fact that they have stated that they are prioritizing keeping Leonard Williams and Dalvin Tomlinson. They want to get some weapons for Daniel Jones. So I don't think it's likely, but I do think the Giants should absolutely take a look at bringing back Romeo Okwara. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button, leave a like below, follow us on Twitter. What are your thoughts on Romeo Okwara? Should we bring him back to the Giants? I think that he could fit in this scheme. Can he fit in the scheme to you? Let us know below. This has been another video with Hit Squad Productions.